Matt had never seen water like this before. It shimmered under the twin suns of Elveris for, glowing a pale blue that almost didn't look real. He stood at the edge of the lake, taking a break from his solo hike. The human exploration team had landed just a week ago, and they were still mapping the area. He liked going off on his own, far from the noise of the base. The silence here felt clean. He knelt and dipped his hand into the water. It was warm, the breeze smelled sweet, like fruit and flowers. Behind him, tall silver trees stretched toward the sky. Strange birds called out in musical notes. Matt smiled. This place was peaceful. Unlike Earth, where buildings covered the land and people were always rushing. Here, it felt like time moved slower. Suddenly, a loud splash broke the silence. Matt's head snapped toward the lake. He saw something moving in the water now. Someone. Long hair floated on the surface. Arms flailed. Whoever it was, they were drowning. Without thinking, Matt dropped his backpack and ran into the lake. The soft mud pulled at his boots, but he kept going. The water rose past his knees, then to his chest. He swam hard. The figure sank beneath the surface. He dived. The lake was clearer than he expected. He saw her right away, silver skin, long white hair flowing around her, a shimmering dress clinging to her body. A faint glow surrounded her. She looked almost unreal, like something out of a dream. But she wasn't breathing. Matt grabbed her and kicked upward. When they broke the surface, he gasped for air and pulled her toward the shore. Once they reached the bank, he laid her gently on the grass. She wasn't moving. "Come on, breathe," Matt muttered. He started chest compressions. After a few tries, he tilted her head back and gave her air. 1 breath, 2, 3. Then she coughed. Water spilled from her mouth and she gasped for air. Her glowing eyes opened, wide with shock. For a moment they just stared at each other. Matt couldn't look away. Her eyes were violet, like gems. They shimmered with light, and in them he saw confusion and something like fear. A voice shouted from behind. Matt turned. Several figures rushed out of the trees, wearing bright robes and carrying strange staffs. They were alien guards. They ran toward him, their faces serious. "Step away from the princess," one shouted. "Princess." Matt looked down at the girl. She was still coughing but sitting up now, her hair sticking to her face. A crown-like metal piece circled her head. He hadn't noticed it before. "I said step away." Matt raised his hands and backed off slowly. "I'm not hurting her," he said. "I pulled her out of the water. She was drowning." The guards surrounded him and pointed their staffs. The one who spoke seemed to scan Matt from head to toe. His expression didn't change. "You will come with us." Matt glanced at the princess. She looked at him again, this time with a different expression. Her lips moved, but he couldn't hear the words. Then darkness filled his vision. When Matt woke up, he was in a room made of crystal. The walls sparkled with soft lights that shifted colors slowly. A gentle humming sound filled the air. The bed was too soft, almost like a cloud. He sat up quickly, confused. Where was he? What happened after the lake? The door slid open with a hiss. 2 more guards stood outside. A third figure stepped in tall, wearing golden robes, with markings on his face. He spoke in a deep voice. "Human, you stand in the palace of the Ova. You pulled our air from the sacred lake. You will answer questions." Matt frowned. "I didn't do anything wrong. She was drowning. I saved her. The princess will confirm your story. Until then, you remain under guard. I didn't come to cause trouble. I'm part of the human exploration mission. Check with your embassy, that will be done." The man turned and walked out. The guards stayed by the door. Matt sighed and leaned back. So much for a peaceful hike. Now he was a prisoner in a glowing palace on an alien world. But still, he remembered her eyes, the way she looked at him before she spoke. He didn't understand the words, but he knew she didn't blame him. Maybe that would help. He didn't know who she was or what her world was like, but one thing was sure: he had saved a princess. And now, nothing in his life would ever be the same. Matt sat on the edge of the soft bed, staring at the crystal walls around him. It had been hours since the guard last spoke to him. Food had been brought in a plate of round, glowing fruit and a warm drink that smelled like mint and honey. He had only taken a few bites. His thoughts were racing. Why did they treat him like a prisoner? He had saved the princess. Shouldn't they be thanking him? Just then, the door hissed open again. But this time, it wasn't a guard. It was her. The alien princess stepped in quietly, her long white hair tied back with silver threads. She wore a new robe, deep violet in color, with shining symbols across the chest. Her glowing eyes watched him closely as she entered the room. Matt stood up quickly. "Hey, are you okay?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, thanks to you." Her voice was soft, musical, and lightly accented. You saved my life. Matt let out a breath. I didn't think you'd remember me. I remember the cold water. I remember falling. And I remember you pulling me out. She paused, then smiled just a little. My name is Alira. I'm Matt, he replied. Matthew, but most call me Matt. She stepped closer, still looking at him like she was trying to understand something. Why did you jump in after me? You didn't know who I was. Because you were drowning, he said simply. I didn't need to know your name to know. You needed help. Alira was quiet for a moment, then gave a small nod. Not many would risk their lives like that, especially for someone different. Matt shrugged. I didn't think about that. I just acted. She walked around the room, touching the smooth walls. Some on the council think you planned it, that it was a trick. What? No, that's crazy. I believe you, she said, turning to face him. But I had to speak for you. That's the only reason you're still here and not sent away. So, am I still a prisoner? She gave a soft laugh. No, but you are, being watched closely. Matt ran a hand through his hair. Great. So what now? You'll stay in the guest wing. Not many humans have been inside the palace. The others on your team will be told you're safe. For now, rest. The council wants to speak with you tomorrow. Matt nodded slowly. And you, are you okay now? Really? Alira looked away for a moment. I am, but what happened was not an accident. Matt frowned. You mean someone pushed you? She nodded, then stepped closer. I can't prove it yet, but I felt someone behind me before I fell. When I turned, no one was there, and you told the others. They said I imagined it, but maybe I slipped. But I've walked that path since childhood. I never fall. Matt felt a chill. So someone tried to hurt you. Yes, and whoever it is, they are still in the palace. They stared at each other, the room quiet around them. Why are you telling me this? Matt asked. Because you didn't ask for anything. In return, you didn't try to use my name or my title. You saw someone in danger, and you acted. Her voice grew softer. I need someone I can trust. Matt gave a small smile. Well, I've got nowhere else to be right now. Alira nodded. Then, help me. If we find out who tried to harm me, we can stop them before they try again. I'm in, Matt said without hesitation. Before she left, Alira gave him a silver pendant. Wear this, it will show the guards that you're under my protection, and if you ever get lost, it will guide you back to me. Matt took the pendant and looked at the soft light it gave off. Thanks. Rest now, she said. Tomorrow, we begin. The door slid shut behind her, leaving Matt alone again. But now, everything had changed. He wasn't just a visitor. He wasn't just a rescuer. He was now part of something bigger, something dangerous. And the only person he could trust was an alien princess with glowing eyes and a secret she couldn't prove. Matt woke up early. The bed was soft, but his thoughts were not. The princess's words from last night echoed in his mind. Someone had tried to hurt her, and now, he had agreed to help her find out who. He dressed quickly and put the silver pendant around his neck. It gave off a faint glow and felt warm against his chest. The door opened on its own as he stepped near, and 2 guards were already waiting. The princess requests your presence, one said. Matt followed them down long crystal hallways that curved like flowing rivers. Soft lights glowed from the floor, and the walls hummed quietly. It didn't feel like a palace, it felt like something alive. Alira was waiting in a large chamber, filled with plants and soft blue water flowing through clear channels. She stood beside a table made of glowing stone, looking over a floating screen filled with strange symbols. Morning, Matt said. She looked up and smiled. You slept well. I did, as much as I could. She waved her hand, and the screen vanished. Good. We begin today. Matt stepped closer. Where do we start? Alira picked up a small crystal from the table and handed it to him. This contains security logs from the lake area. I tried to access them yesterday, but someone locked them. So whoever tried to hurt you also covered their tracks. Yes, but I managed to copy part of the data. With your help, maybe we can make sense of it. They moved to a quiet room nearby where a glowing device hovered over a table. Alira placed the crystal inside. Images appeared, blurry shapes and moving lights, then a map of the palace grounds. What are we looking for? Matt asked. Movement. Near the lake at the time of the accident, they slowed the feed and saw a figure moving along the edge of the trees, staying just out of sight. The shape was unclear, but tall, maybe wearing a long robe. That's not one of your guards? Matt asked. Alira shook her head. My guards stay in the outer circle. This path is for royal family only. So someone broke protocol and was hiding. Do you recognize anything about them? No, but the movement ends just before I fall. Then the logs cut off. Someone erased the footage. Yes, and only a few people in the palace have that kind of access. They shared a look, one of understanding and quiet fear. Alira brought up a list. These are the ones who can change the records: Counselor Darren, my tutor Villa, the palace tech master, and my cousin Raoul. Matt frowned. For suspects, where do we begin? We asked questions, quietly. The rest of the day, Matt and Alira moved around the palace together. She introduced him as her honored guest, giving him cover to walk freely. He met Counselor Duran, a tall, serious man who spoke slowly and never smiled. He asked Matt about Earth politics more than once. Next was Vela the tutor. She was kind, with gentle eyes and a calm voice. She brought Alira books and tea, and she treated Matt with warm curiosity. The tech master was different. He was short, with fast movements, and a strange grin. He seemed nervous when Alira asked about the camera logs. A glitch, he said. Just a glitch, nothing more. Last was Raoul, a young man close to Alira in age. He smiled a lot, but his eyes were cold. He wore robes that shimmered and carried a blade at his side. You trust him? Matt asked. After they left Raoul's garden. Alira hesitated. We were close once, but he changed after my father died. He wants more than his place. Matt nodded. He feels fake, yes. As the suns began to set, they met again in her private study. I think the tech master is hiding something, Matt said. I agree. He never looked me in the eye. I want to see the vault he controls, the one that stores the original footage. Alira paused. That area is guarded, but there's a way in. A tunnel below the gardens. Not many know it exists. Matt raised an eyebrow. You've used it before. Once. When I was young. Come with me tomorrow night. We'll go when the guards change shifts. Matt felt his heart beat faster. We'll be breaking rules, right? Alira gave a small grin. Sometimes rules must bend when truth is hidden. He smiled back. I'm with you. As the stars lit up the sky outside, Matt realized something deep inside him had shifted. This wasn't just about saving someone anymore. This was about trust, danger, and uncovering something that could change everything for the Elverai and, maybe for humans, too. And it all started with a simple act of saving a stranger from drowning. Night had fallen across the Elverai palace. The twin moons hung high, casting soft silver light across the gardens. Glowing plants lit the paths, and the air smelled fresh, like sweet herbs and rain. Matt waited behind a large tree, close to where the garden steps ended. He wore a dark cloak Alira had given him. It helped him blend with the shadows. Nearby, hidden by the vines, was the entrance she had told him about. He heard footsteps, light and quick. Alira appeared, wearing a dark robe and carrying a small, light orb. She moved fast, her eyes sharp and alert. You're on time, she whispered. You didn't think I'd back out, did you? Matt said, smiling. Not after everything we've been through, she said softly. Come on. They pushed the vines aside and stepped into the hidden tunnel. It was narrow and cold, the walls made of smooth stone. Alira held the orb forward, lighting their way. The silence was deep, broken only by the sound of their footsteps. How long does this tunnel go? Matt asked. Not far, she said. It connects to the tech vault's lower level. It was built long ago, back when my ancestors feared war. Now, only a few even know it exists. After several turns, they reached a small metal door. It had no handle, just a flat panel with old markings. Alira placed her hand on the panel. It glowed softly and then clicked. The door slid open with a soft hiss. After you, she whispered. They stepped into the vault's storage level. It was filled with crystal cabinets, glowing cables, and humming machines. Everything seemed quiet, too quiet. Where are the guards? Matt asked. They patrol above. Down here, it's mostly machines. Matt spotted a large glowing console. Is that where the recordings are stored? Alira nodded. As the main data core, if anything survived the deletion, it'll be in there. They rushed to the console. Alira pulled out a small device and connected it to the side. Strange symbols scrolled across the screen, and the light flickered. This might take time, she whispered. It's old tech. Suddenly, they heard footsteps fast and heavy. Someone's coming, Matt said, eyes wide. Alira tapped the console quickly. I need another minute. Matt moved toward the hallway, peeking around the corner. A figure entered the vault. It was the tech master. He stopped when he saw Matt. What are you doing here? His voice was sharp. Matt stepped forward, blocking his view of the console. Just looking around. You shouldn't be here, the tech master said. You're not allowed in this area. Funny, Matt replied. I thought the same thing about people who erase security footage. The tech master's eyes narrowed. You don't know what you're talking about. Alira's voice rang from behind. He knows enough. The tech master froze. Alira stepped into view, holding the glowing device. You tried to erase the footage, she said, but fragments remain. Enough to prove someone was near the lake when I fell. I had no choice, he said, stepping back. I was told to remove it by who? She asked. He looked at Matt, then back at her. I can't say they'll come for me. They'll come for all of us if we don't stop them, Alira said calmly. Tell us. The tech master looked down, breathing hard. It was Counselor Duran. He said it was for the good of the throne, he said. The humans were dangerous. Matt blinked. Wait, he tried to hurt you just because I was here. No, the tech master said. He said she was getting soft trusting to ice. He wanted to push her to see the truth. He didn't think she'd die, just get scared. Alira's face grew pale. He risked my life for a lesson. The tech master nodded slowly. Alira turned to Matt. We have what we need. Let's go. What about him? Matt asked. He stays. Guards will find him soon enough. They took the device and left through the same tunnel. Once outside, they moved fast, keeping to the shadows until they reached Alira's private room. Inside, Alira placed the device on her desk and sat down, looking tired. I can't believe it, she said quietly. Counselor Darren raised me after my father passed. I trusted him. Matt sat beside her. He wanted power, or control, maybe both. She nodded slowly. He must be stopped, and the others must know the truth. Matt looked at her, his voice soft. I'm with you all the way. Alira met his eyes, her voice calm but firm. Then we go to the Queen's Circle tomorrow. They will listen. Side the window, the moons still shined, but the peace of the palace was gone. Something had been broken, and the fight for the truth had just begun. Matt didn't sleep that night. The words of the tech master kept spinning in his mind. Counselor Duran, the man who stood beside the royal family for years, had ordered the footage erased. He had nearly gotten Alira killed just to teach her a lesson. It made Matt feel sick. Morning light filled the palace halls, and the gentle hum of the structure slowly returned, but something felt different now. Like danger was waiting behind every wall. Alira wore a deep blue robe, her crown resting lightly on her head. She stood straight, her face calm but her eyes sharp. Are you sure you're ready? Matt asked her. No, she replied. But it doesn't matter. The council must hear the truth. The Queen's Circle was held in a large chamber near the heart of the palace. 12 council members sat in a half moon, their faces serious and still. Behind them, hundreds of palace officials, nobles, and guests watched from high seats. Today's meeting had been called by Alira herself. As they entered, Matt could feel all the eyes turning toward him. He was still an outsider, a human in a room full of aliens, and he could feel their silent questions. Why was he here? What did he want? But none of them spoke. Not yet. Counselor Duran sat near the center, dressed in white and silver robes. His face was calm, but his fingers tapped the armrests slowly. When he saw Matt and Alira together, his eyes narrowed. Alira stepped forward. Her voice was clear and strong. Council members, friends of the throne, I come before you today to speak of an attack not from our enemies, but from within. A quiet murmur spread through the room. Last week, I was pushed into the sacred lake. It was no accident. Someone tried to harm me, to frighten me, to make me doubt. Counselor Daron raised a hand. Princess, those are serious words. Yes, she replied. And I have proof. She turned and nodded to Matt. He stepped forward, holding the small crystal device. He placed it into the chamber's center console. The floating screen lit up. Images played the broken footage near the lake, the hidden figure, and the tech master's recorded confession. Gasps filled the room. Counselor Duran stood up sharply. This is a trick, he shouted. This human has twisted your mind. Enough. Alira's voice rang out, louder than before. You erased the footage. You used your power to hide the truth, and you put my life at risk. Duran's face changed. He no longer looked calm. He looked angry. You were becoming weak, he said coldly. Your father would never have trusted the humans. You welcome them into our homes, our hearts. But what do they bring? Chaos. You needed to see the danger. Matt stepped beside Alira. The only danger here is you, he said. You speak like a hero, Duran sneered. But you don't belong here. Maybe not, Matt replied. But I saved her life. And I didn't do it for power or titles. I did it because it was the right thing to do. The Queen's Circle fell silent. Alira looked around the room. I asked the council to remove Duran from power and place him under trial, not just for what he did to me but for what he risked to our future. The council members spoke among themselves. After a moment, the eldest member stood. We have heard enough. Counselor Daron, you will step down immediately. You are no longer fit to serve the throne. Daron tried to protest, but palace guards moved forward and surrounded him. He gave a final glance at Alira full of anger and disappointment, but he said nothing as he was led away. The room was still. Then one by one, the officials stood and bowed to Alira. She had one dot as the meeting ended. Alira and Matt stepped out onto a high balcony. The sky was clear, and the wind was soft. You were brave in there, Matt said. So were you, she replied. I don't think I could have done it without you. He looked at her. So, what happens now? Alira took a deep breath. Now, we rebuild, and we make sure no one uses fear to control others again. She paused, then smiled, gently, and maybe we start something new, something better. Matt smiled back. I'd like that. Below them, the palace lights shimmered like stars, and though danger had passed, Matt knew this was only the beginning of a much deeper story, one written in courage, trust, and something that felt like the start of a new kind of hope. The palace was quieter after Counselor Duran's removal, but Matt could still feel the tension in the air. The truth had been revealed, but the wounds were still fresh. Some of the nobles remained unsure about Alira's growing bond with a human. Others whispered that Matt was now more than just a visitor. Alira, however, didn't care about whispers. Let them talk, she said calmly one evening. We stood for the truth. That matters more than fear or gossip. Matt admired her strength. Every day she walked through the palace halls like a true leader. She listened to everyone from guards to advisors, and she never let power change her. She was still the girl he had pulled from the lake, just stronger now. They spent more time together walking the gardens, sharing meals, learning from one another. Matt taught her how humans fixed broken machines with simple tools. She showed him how Elvari crystals could sing when touched with the right energy. One night, Alira called Matt to the observatory at the highest point of the palace. The sky above was filled with stars. Matt had never seen anything so beautiful. You didn't bring me here just to watch stars, did you? He asked with a smile. Alira turned to him. Her silver hair blew gently in the wind. No, she said. I have something to show you. She held up a crystal sphere. Light glowed inside it, moving like mist. What is it? Matt asked. Message, she said. A gift from the royal vault, meant only for those who protect the throne. She placed the sphere on a small pedestal. It opened slowly, and a hologram appeared, an older woman with eyes like Alira's. This is my grandmother, Alira whispered. She was queen before my father. The message played. The queen's voice was calm and full of wisdom. If you are seeing this, she said, it means you have proven your loyalty to the future of Elbrus. Our world was built on honor and courage. But true strength is not found in force, it is found in kindness, in the courage to protect even those who are different from you. The message ended. Alira looked at Matt. You didn't just save my life, she said. You reminded me what kind of ruler I want to be. Matt felt a lump in his throat. I didn't do anything special. You did, she said. You cared, you acted, and you never asked for anything in return. She reached into her robe and pulled out a small silver badge shaped like a star. This is for you, she said. It's the mark of the Guardian. No outsider has ever received it, but you've earned it. Matt took the badge, stunned. I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. Alira smiled. Just wear it with pride. He pinned it to his shirt, feeling the soft glow of the badge against his chest. It felt warm, like it belonged there. Suddenly, a small chime echoed in the observatory. A guard entered, bowing low. Princess, we've received a message from orbit. An unknown ship is approaching fast. It's not responding to hails. Alira's smile faded. Is it armed? Unknown, the guard replied, but it's large. Matt and Alira exchanged a glance. I thought the trouble was over, he said quietly. Sometimes it comes back in another form, she replied. Come with me. They rushed to the palace command center. Glowing maps showed the alien ship moving closer to the planet. Its design was sharp and darkened like anything in the Elvari records. Identify it, Alira ordered. The tech officers tried, but the ship gave no name, no signals. Matt studied the shape. That's not a regular trader or explorer. That's military. We need to be ready, Alira said. Raise the shields and alert the city. You think someone sent it because of what happened with Daron? Matt asked. Maybe, she said. Or maybe someone's watching and doesn't like what we're becoming. The ship entered the upper atmosphere but didn't attack. It just hovered silently, casting a dark shadow over the land. What now? Matt asked. Alira looked out the window, her voice steady. We meet them, together. As they prepared to face the unknown, Matt felt something deep inside he wasn't just a visitor anymore. He was part of this world, part of something greater, and whatever was coming, he wasn't facing it alone. The huge alien ship hung silently over the palace, its dark metal surface reflecting the twin suns. No one knew who was inside or what they wanted. The palace was on high alert, guards ready, and eyes watching every shadow. Matt stood beside Princess Alira in the command center. The silver badge on his chest glowed softly, a reminder of the trust she had given him. She looked calm but serious. "We don't know their intentions," Alira said, "but we must meet them peacefully. War helps no one." The palace sent a small shuttle to the ship. It docked, and Alira chose Matt to accompany her on the meeting. It was risky, but she trusted him. Inside the ship, the halls were cold and silent. The air smelled strange, like metal and electricity. They walked, carefully led by a tall figure wearing dark armor and a mask that covered most of their face. "Welcome," the figure said in a deep voice. "I am Commander Zevron of the Varak fleet." Matt studied Zevron carefully. His armor looked strong, but his eyes behind the mask were cautious. "Why are you here?" Alira asked. Ran hesitated. "Our leaders watched the events on the fall of your princess, the removal of Counselor Daron. They worry your world is changing too fast." "We want peace," Alira said, "and friendship between our people." Zevron's voice softened. "Some in the galaxy fear humans and Elvari working together. They believe it threatens the old order." Matt stepped forward. "Humans don't come with weapons first. We come with hands ready to help." Zevron looked at Matt's badge. "Guardian, Mark, you are trusted by the princess." "Yes," Alira said, "and you are welcome here if you come with respect." The commander nodded slowly. "Then let us talk." For hours they discussed plans for trade, defense, and knowledge sharing. The ship's cold halls began to feel warmer with hope. When they returned to the palace, Alira smiled at Matt. "You were brave today." "I just stood beside you," Matt said, feeling proud. Then, in a quiet moment, she reached into her robe and pulled out a small box. She opened it to reveal a shining ring with a star-shaped jewel. "This is for you," she said softly, "a symbol of our bond." Matt took the ring carefully. "I don't know what to say. Say you'll stay." Alira smiled. "Not just as a guardian, but as a friend and partner in this new journey." He looked at her glowing eyes and felt a warmth he hadn't known before. "I'll stay," he said. Outside, the sun set behind the mountains, casting light across the palace and the alien ship that now floated peacefully above. A new chapter had begun, not just for Elvarus or Earth, but for all who believed in trust, courage, and the surprising gifts given when a stranger saves a life.